Hello, my name is Sara Kimura and I am a high school student currently studying in Paris. Welcome to this episode of Reset Revolution. To briefly explain about what we do, we are a group of international students dedicated to the fight against social injustice. And today on this platform, we will be having Mariana, a body positive from Japan, and we will be asking her about what body positivity exactly is, and she will be explaining us what it is like being a plus size model in Japan. Hello, Mariana.
Hi, sorry about that little mishap. Hope you can see and hear me okay.
Great. Mariana, could you maybe start off by explaining yourself, introducing yourself?
Yes, sure. So first of all, nice to meet you, everyone. My name is Mariana, and I'm currently a plus size model at a Japanese plus size modeling agency called Glapocha, which is short for Tokyo Glamorous Pocha Collection. I've been a plus size model with Glapocha since October 2018, so I'm kind of a newbie in the industry. And aside from modeling, I also try to promote body positivity and self-love, since that's still kind of fairly new topic in Japan. So yeah, I look forward to exchanging all sorts of thoughts and ideas with you. And thank you for inviting me.
Thank you for being here. To start off, I wanted to ask you, what exactly is body positivity?
Yes, well, body positivity is an empowering movement. Basically revolves around three important messages. The first one is the important message that all bodies, regardless of body type or size, are beautiful. The second one is that loving yourself and loving your body is essential and important, and you deserve to love your body and yourself. And the last one is challenging existing beauty standards. And when we think about, okay, how do we define beauty or how do we perceive beauty, I personally think it mainly comes in three categories, although it's not limited to just three categories, but mainly three. The first one is the overall body type or body image. So that's basically like deciding whether someone's fat or thin or muscular, those type of adjectives. The second one is more related to a specific body part. For example, whether someone has big eyes, short legs, or big breasts, like very specific body parts. And the third one is more focused on, for example, like whether there's a disability or chronic disease or skin condition or any type of physical conditions that could alter someone's physical appearance. And I think like someone could fit in one category or maybe a combination of things, but body positivity just embraces all those categories, not just focusing on someone's fat or thin, but all of these categories. And it's important to remember that because a lot of people think body positivity is just about people and accepting beauty standards that are only within thin or fat, but it just goes beyond that. But it's also important to remember that I personally think majority of the people, the first stage that they go through is being judged whether they're thin or fat. So that's why a lot of the body positivity conversation that I'm also initiating is also from the perspective of fat or thin. But yeah, just as a side note, it goes way beyond that. And another thing I'd like to add is, in addition to the explanation of body positivity that I just explained, for me, I think body positivity is also like a lifestyle, because when we think about how we body shame ourselves, the choices that we make are so focused on whether the body that we have is suitable for us to wear a certain clothing, certain bathing suit. And even if we make that choice, we're always like unsure whether it's actually okay for someone like the body type that you have to wear a certain thing. And because your mind is so preoccupied by those things, you're missing out on all the experiences and other choices you could have taken to really enhance the experience and other type of life choices that you can make. So I think like personally by being body positive, it actually helps you enhance the type of options that you can take in your life, whether it's experience or type of clothes that you can wear. And when you enhance those choices for yourself, it really, really broadens your perspective, and you get to have attention on other things that you were blind to because you were so preoccupied by like really, really feeling insecure about your body. So yeah, that's what, for me, body positivity is.
Oh wow, like enhancing choices, that isn't like a way I've thought of it before. So that's really eye-opening. One thing I wanted to ask was, were you always body positive? If not, what helped you be body positive?
Mm-hmm. That's a really good question because majority of my life, I've been not so body positive. It was like a constant battle of needing to lose weight, a lot of body shaming coming from immediate family members and also relatives, and just trial and error with so many different diets, and really, really pressuring myself. Okay, I need to do harder because I didn't lose enough weight, or not meeting like the size of the waist that is considered as a beauty standard. So it has been like quite a constant battle. But the thing that helped me become more body positive is that, well, there were basically three things. The first one is acknowledging the fact that regardless of what body size or body type you become, there's always, always going to be someone who's going to shame something about your body. One thing that I can tell you is that 3 or 4 years ago, I lost 10 kilograms. Because I thought I really needed to lose weight. And I thought that was enough. But at the end of the day, my other family members, friends, people I don't know, they were like, oh, okay, now you should lose this part of the body and make it more thinner or something. And, there is like the world's most beautiful person list that a lot of the magazines rank every year. And even though it's like the most beautiful person on the planet, according to that list, someone always has something to say about them. So acknowledging that fact made me feel a little bit more comfortable with myself and feel more relaxed that I don't have the responsibility to pursue what other people thinks is beautiful, because you can't be everyone's type and you can't be everyone's type of beautiful. Second one is finding inspirations and role models, especially on social media, because I think when you want to become comfortable with your body, there's not too many people around you in your daily life that can help you be comfortable with your body. So following hashtags like body positivity or F your standards, F your beauty standards, it'll help you connect yourself to people who are really, really breaking the stereotype about a certain body type. And I personally know that there are so many content creators and influencers who have struggled just like everyone else. And they are on social media being an influencer, talking about these topics because they want to tell their story and help you like really, really overcome those insecurities, so that unlike them, like people following and looking at those contents will be able to spend less time hating their bodies and spend longer time loving their bodies. So basically these creators, influencers are there for you. And I see my friend Beautiful Taylor T. She's one of my inspirations. She's a plus size model in Korea. And she herself is breaking all sorts of stereotypes, especially in a strict beauty standard country like Korea. So I really, really suggest finding your inspiration and role models. Just to start off with by following those hashtags. And the third thing is having a better conversation with myself, because it's important that in addition to filling your social media feed with all sorts of body positivity contents, it's important that you yourself talk to yourself that way. You can't just be like watching all these social media contents and still body shaming yourself in your daily life. So one of the things that I did was take an idea from all the social media influencers who are talking about body positivity, understand their message, and then say them to myself looking in the mirror. Whether it's you are beautiful, you you achieved this today, so you did so great, you tried to help this person and you're so kind for it. You need to give yourself affirmative words like that, like really really help yourself and really say it out loud, not just think it. So yeah, I think those are the main things. And even just like when you're making some sort of choice, like shopping for clothes or something, like ask yourself, why am I feeling like I want to purchase this clothing? Is it because I'm trying to hide a certain part of my body that I feel insecure about and I want this clothing because I feel safe in it? Or do I want it because it enhances a part of the body I especially like and it just makes me feel happy and beautiful? Like that's a huge difference. So asking the right questions and telling yourself such self-affirmative words, that self-dialogue with yourself on a daily basis is also important, and it's also what helped me.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll definitely put that self-affirmation part in action. That is very true. Like I tend to choose clothing that look quite baggy on me sometimes, just so that when I feel insecure about my arms, for example, it just feels safe. But then that's very true. Like, I'll make sure to do that self-dialogue with myself.
Yes,
Now,
please, because you're so beautiful, and I told you on our personal interactions that you're so passionate about all sorts of causes. So I really, really wish that you can see how I see you. And if you are in need of affirmative words, like reach out to me because I consider you as my personal friend, and I'll be happy to give so many different affirmative words to you.
I'm so happy. Thank you so much. Um, Another thing that one of the questions we received from the question box on Reset Revolution was, what is it like being a plus size model in Japan?
Well, I can tell you it's definitely rewarding in two different ways. Well, one of them is by being more visually present in plus size modeling brand shopping websites or e-commerce sites. We we as plus size models in Japan get to provide representation to all the plus size people in Japan that were silenced and being told that if they want to enjoy fashion, then they need to lose weight. But by us being present as models selling those products, we give the voices to the people who were silenced and being put away from the usual media or outlets' eyes, that they're seen and they deserve to enjoy fashion just like any other type of body type. So I think being able to provide more visibility and representation to those type of body types with bigger sizes is definitely rewarding. And we do get a lot of feedback from customers as well that, customers of the brands, that a lot of the times when they're shopping for online sites, there are still so many conventional type of models. So even if a plus size brand is trying to sell clothes, they're not able to reach their target customers because the model who is wearing those clothes is not the body type that the brands are trying to reach. So I think in that way, being a plus size model is very rewarding. And from my personal level, it's also rewarding because Japan especially has a culture where models are super worshipped. Like if a model wears that, like it sells out. If a model does like a certain sport, like it starts becoming popular. Like there's such a very strong model worshiping clothes. So I think by being able to say I'm a plus size model officially, it gives me an advantage and also gives me the ability to leverage that culture to promote other messages that are not fully penetrated in Japan, such as like body positivity and self-love, because a lot of the conversation in Japan is stopping at, hey, like fat people, bigger size people can enjoy fashion too. Like just enjoy what you like. Like it stops there. Of course, that's really important because fashion gives us so much life in our daily life. But at the same time, I personally feel the need to provide like a stronger message behind why such diversity in beauty standards is important, and also the mental aspects of it that can support you becoming more body positive towards yourself and also help other people become more body positive. So yeah, and that was actually one of the reasons why I became a plus size model, to be able to share those messages. So I find it very rewarding from those two perspectives. But there is a but. One thing that I did find is that just like overseas, yes, but just like overseas, there is a trend where there is acceptable plus size and not so acceptable plus size. And I think that acceptability is different between Japan and overseas. Like, I think overseas, the type of acceptable plus size people are just like super big hourglass, tiny waist, like big breasts, big hips, like super curvy. But if it's someone who has like a bigger stomach than their breasts, I feel like those people are quite ignored from the plus size community, even though there are influencers who are taking advantage of the different type of plus size body and trying to promote like a bigger conversation of plus size bodies. But the thing is, in Japan, it's more of whether you're big enough or not. So some of the feedback that I have gotten is that even though in the daily life I get told I'm plus size and I should lose weight, within the plus size industry in Japan, like among the like a bigger size, like 4L type models, I sometimes get told that I'm on the smaller side. So plus size brands, I'm not big enough. But that can also give me an advantage. For example, if it's like a brand that's not so size inclusive, but managed to get to at least XXL or something, which is not too size inclusive. So there is like a give and take, but either way, it's just a really weird situation. But I do think that when I say how big my waist size is, a lot of the people are like, oh, okay, you're definitely plus size. So I think I can be the walking dictionary to really prove that I'm this number, but as you can see, like I look like this. So I'm just here existing to tell you like sizes and numbers don't really mean a thing, and it really does come in all shapes and sizes. So yeah, that's my personal experience in Japan. But I am happy to see like a lot of the plus size brands becoming more prominent, and they're trying to expand to the more size inclusive customers. So I am happy to see that trend as plus size model in Japan.
Mm-hmm. Wow, like your answer is quite positive, and that kind of it weirdly surprises me in some way, because I was born, I grew up abroad, but then every time I go back to Japan, like once a year, twice a year, I really see that gap between, like, I feel like Japan is a country that's especially conscious about body sizes, and I was just curious, like, what it is like for you to be like to have an occupation of a plus size model. But then, oh no, that's really nice to hear. I but talked about how someone was saying that they really relate to what you said about criticizing from your family, from your direct family, Asia in general. That's often.
Sorry, I didn't catch the earlier part of your question. Could you tell me again? Sorry.
No. Did you hear the part where I said one of the comments was asking about, not asking, was relating to you when you said that your direct family was criticizing you about your body?
Oh, I didn't hear that part. I'm sorry.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah, I thought it was just my side, but yeah, your audio was kind of cutting off and on. So yeah.
No. If you can hear me now, that's perfect. Um, No, could you maybe expand on how your direct family can be the one criticizing your body in cultures in Asia?
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, I grew up in the States during my childhood, 6 years of my childhood, and then came back to Japan. But I do hear from a lot of my friends um, who also have experience overseas that Asian families tend to be really, really harsh on their children when it comes to their body types, and there's so much body shaming going on. What I hear from a lot of my friends, at least in the States, like is that at least at the end of the day, your parents think you're handsome or you're beautiful. But most of the time in Japanese countries, and then I think same as Korea, like beautiful Taylor T here, that's not the case, especially in Japan and Korea. Like families and parents don't have any shame or any bad feeling that um, they are doing a bad thing. They think that by commenting negatively on their kids' bodies, it's the way that they are showing love, which I think is very, very toxic. And because of that, I actually suffered a lot from self-esteem and just loving myself in general. I remember that I was just trying to have dinner, and my little sister, who is a lot more slender than me, she got to have second serving of a bowl of rice. And when I was like, "Oh, can I have the second bowl of rice?" Like my parents were like, "Are you sure you really want that second bowl of rice?" And I was just like, I don't know. Even as a kid, it was hard just being treated differently just because my body size was bigger than a certain sibling. But I think that's something that a lot of people go through, not just women too, a lot of men too. So I think it's a very, very serious issue in Japan and Asian countries in general. People just comment on their bodies like a greeting, even grandparents, friends. So yeah. And also what I noticed was in Western countries, I think people do ask, have you lost weight? You look like you lost weight. But a lot of the times I hardly ever hear people go, "Oh, you look like you gained weight. Did you get fat?" Whereas in Japan, that's a very, very common thing. So it just, there's just so many daily life situations to put people more ashamed of their body and the way their body's changed. And I think it's especially hard right now, especially after New Year's, when it's basically like family holiday, same as like Christmas in Western countries, because food is a big part of celebrating those holidays. But you see so many ads and people talking about putting on holiday weight, so they're trying to brainwash you into thinking you need to be fixed, you need to lose weight. So I think it's especially a hard time for so many people. And that's why I'm personally grateful that you invited me to this Instagram live, because body positivity couldn't have come at a more important time, especially in the start of this year. So yeah.
Yeah, no, holiday weight I think is really big. My friends around me are talking about it. They're like, I ate too much. In Japanese, we have the word chogatsubutori, right?
Mm,
New Year's weight. Like it. I can really see that people are self-degrading themselves. I have seen the word self-degrading a lot in the comments. There's a lot of dialogue going on, and also
mm,
someone was mentioning Naomi Watanabe in
mm-hmm.
the fact that although she is probably the most followed Japanese celebrity, I think,
Mm-hmm.
she is not
Sorry, Sarah, your
on
audio is
TV
getting cut off
shows.
again.
And
To the point where you said Naomi Watanabe is probably the most followed Japanese celebrity.
mhm, mhm.
Could you repeat the latter part for me?
I was just saying that there was someone saying how she's mocked very often on TV shows. And what do you think about people's reactions like that? What do you think is the reason why Japanese media often
Mm,
they seem like they're promoting like this diverse kind of community, but then yet they continue to mock body size.
That's a really good question. I think, like, especially for Naomi Watanabe's case, before she became such a global icon, she started off first as a Japanese comedian. So um, she was basically trying to get people laugh. So she was doing like a lot of Beyonce dances, and people were like, "Oh, look at that fat girl dance to Beyonce," but she's actually got quite good kind of attitude. So I think traditionally Japan had such a long history of using plus size people as the laughing stock. I don't know why. I think it's just because maybe in a way they thought that someone's body type itself is um like funny enough because they're bigger than majority of people. I'm not really sure. But it's interesting because like even in kids cartoons, there would be at least one chubby kid within the children's cartoon or animes that kids watch growing up. For example, like Doraemon, there's Giant. He can be scary, but kind of like a comical guy too. So I don't know. I think there's a stigma that if you're fat, like you, in order for also them to survive, fat people also felt the pressure that they need to be either funny, or if they're not funny and being popular with people around them, then they're just going to be target of being bullied. So I think it's also like a subconscious self mechanism that also plus size people have also put them in the traditional Japanese culture just to like save themselves, not just end as someone who's being bashed and criticized and thrown into like the sad world where they can't fit in, but more of like the class clown or people that make other people laugh. So I think that's the story around it. But I think it's interesting because, especially for Naomi Watanabe's case, before she became a global icon, I think because the body positivity movement has kicked off so well overseas, it was the global community that made her into more of a fashion icon. And I think you can you can also feel it too, but Japan has a tendency to really be sensitive towards what is popular overseas. So after Naomi Watanabe became famous overseas, Japanese people are like, oh, she's actually considered cool overseas, then we're going to consider her cool too. So it was like a reverse import of her to make it into a new different type of pop culture icon, not just like a laughing stock within the comedian community. So I think it was an interesting dynamic that happened, especially in the case of Naomi Watanabe. But I do see still like new comedians in Japan who are plus size, just making like a laughing stock out of themselves, which I feel kind of sad still, especially after Naomi Watanabe has proven to be such a big fashion icon, just beyond selling her body type as a target of being laughed at. So yeah, Japan definitely has a lot to work on. Yeah, there's still no concept of body shaming, so that's what I hope to further change together with my agency, which has so many different types of plus size models.
Um, like yes, like body shaming is a topic we did on our pre-recording, and that will be released in the end of January, I think. Yes, no, that pre-recording is very interesting. It's a must-watch, and actually, yes, we did kind of go off track towards what was said in the comments, but then a question that was also asked in the question box was, are all plus size models body positive?
Very good question. In theory, I would say yes, because we are trying to say that regardless of body size, you have the right to do whatever you like, enjoy fashion, just exist, be considered beautiful, and are worthy of everything that you want in life. So in theory, I do believe so. But I think there's a huge difference between overseas plus size models and body positivity activists overseas versus the ones in Japan. So if I give you the explanation of the ones overseas first, I think in Western countries, like body positivity activists and also plus size models have the understand the concept of internalized fat phobia. So I feel like a lot of the contents that they are putting out to the world, they're even if they have internalized fat phobia, they acknowledge the fact that there still are unrecognized fat phobia within them. And they actually communicate that to a lot of the followers saying, the other day I felt like I don't like the way I look, but I realized that I needed to tell myself this and really change the way I thought. And I think like that type of conversation and reality is really important just to make sure that a lot of the followers know that, body positivity isn't just something that you can become in one night. It comes from consistent way of training your mind to become more body positive. So it's not something that happens, overnight. Even the most confident looking body positivity activists and plus size models, they still struggle with internalized fat phobia. But if they ever think something that could be unrecognized fat phobia, they know and they're able to say, oh, wait, silly me, I shouldn't be thinking this. This is just something that was internalized within me. They're able to identify that. However, in the case of Japan, as I said before, currently the body positivity talk, especially plus size models, is mainly stopping at, hey, everyone gets to enjoy fashion. Like, we're a bigger size, but let's just enjoy fashion. That's great. But the thing is, there's so many things that are said that a lot of the Japanese plus size models especially don't realize. One of the things is kiyase. In Japan, there's a strong obsession with the term kiyase. And for those of you who are English speakers, kiyase is the concept where you style clothes, you layer clothes in a way that it makes you look thinner than you are. It kind of like uses visual tricking techniques to like layer clothes or use designs in certain ways to make your body look thinner than they are. And a lot of the plus size models are saying, oh, this has the kiyase effect. So if you're plus size, then you can still wear it without any worries at all. But the objective of that concept is still making sure to look thinner, which is totally contradicting to the concept of body positivity. But a lot of the people in Japan don't realize that this is actually internalized fat phobia. So that's why I'm using my platform to really bring awareness to this concept, and hoping that people will be able to enjoy fashion beyond just simply looking thin. Another example is that I do see quite many plus size models announcing that they started going on a diet to exercise more. Like, if they want to make healthier choices, that's great. But the problematic part is I hope to get thinner. I want to lose weight. Like, they're stopping at that, which I think is a dangerous message that is being sent out to their followers, thinking, oh, if that plus size model is also going on a diet, then that means I should too, because I'm plus size. Now, if there is a different messaging, for example, I'm going to watch what I'm eating and do exercise because I feel like I want to be more physically healthier. I want to enhance my physical ability to do X, Y, Z. I think that type of messaging is more body positive approach and has less risk of making people feel the need to go on a intense diet, because right now the message is being stopped at they're aiming to lose weight. And that's a very dangerous message, especially because models and influencers have such big impact on the followers. So I think that's a really big issue. So to summarize what I've said, I think in theory, body positivity activists and plus size models are body positive, or at least they're trying to be. But in the case of Japan, there's just so many internalized fat phobia that a lot of the people don't even realize. So yeah, I think we're at a lagging pace compared to other countries.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Sorry, that was a huge answer.
A thorough explanation. I it's quite reassuring to hear that not all plus size models, activists are always body positive. They may be working on themselves. That kind of makes it feel like we're working on it all together. And, but then you talked about the problem in Japan with the body positivity trend. That kind of reminds me of when I found this Pochari idol group, like a slightly chubby, like I guess chubby idol group in Japan, and I think I found it on my YouTube feed. I watched it. I thought it was great at first. It was a report by like some other media, and it was kind of showing what they do. Like they sing about their body size, and that their music videos are like you can see them wearing bikinis, jumping, and at first I was really like, wow, like I never knew that this kind of thing existed in Japan as well. So I went off to look at their YouTube channel. Then I realized that they were posting content about like seriously dangerous dieting methods. Like I ate a tomato for the whole day to lose weight, and then the I think one of the members, she's a girl, she was like, oh, I'm over 100 kilograms, I'm so fat, I'm not pretty, like I need to lose weight for my blind date in a week, so start off by just eating tomatoes for the whole day. And it shocked me quite a lot. I thought that was kind of a body positivity wave coming in Japan, but then it, like, I never knew distorted in a really unhealthy way. I think there's like a fine line between like people promoting body positivity really need to be careful, I think. One of the comments we received was about defeating fetishization. Did I say that right? I also was curious about it. Have you ever received like fetishized comments from people around you? And how do you think that maybe defeating that would promote body positivity?
It's a very interesting question, because I think especially women get targeted for all sorts of fetishes, and we become sexualized objects quite easily for all sorts of different things. So with that said, being chubby in Japan is also one of those fetish categories. I personally received only a few, but I'm sure a lot of my other model colleagues within my agency have received a lot. So, like, for example, one of the comments that I received was like, I like, I don't know, maybe it's not too much of a fetish. It was more like I like your body because it has more meat on it, or something like that. And it's hard at times, like being considered as like sexual targets just for a certain type of body. But I think you can either ignore them or try to use that as a way to promote a certain message. So the way that I replied back to that person was like, Oh, thank you. I hope there will be a day when all type of bodies can be considered beautiful. But essentially, I hope there will be a day when the essence of a human being beyond the body type can be fully appreciated, not just by the body type. So that was the that was the best I could do. I'm not sure how the other models are dealing with it, but. Yeah, and I think like especially in Japan, it's commonly considered that if you're plus size, then you would have bigger boobs. So if it's a person who loves big boobs, then that's going to be like the target, like aiming for chubby girls so that you can get bigger boobs, like I don't know, something like that. So there's just like a really weird way of thought processes being handled by people who fetishizes chubby girls. So I'm not sure how to tackle them because to be honest, it's hard to control what someone finds sexually attractive. And there are still all sorts of researches, academic researches happening to try and really figure out what makes a person be attracted to someone. So this is actually something that I actually want to know. Um, but yeah, as an extension of this conversation, I did receive a question in the past where a woman asked me, how do I know whether I'm liking someone because of a certain body type or because I simply like that man for being themselves? Like, I think the question was, I have a particular type that I like, but am I being anti-body positive? And to be honest, that was like a really difficult question. But I think at the end of the day, if you really want to love someone, it's important to consider the essence of that person, not the body type. And if there's a certain body type that you're not attracted to, then you know that you have internalized fat phobia and you have something that you need to work on also within yourself. And a lot of the body positivity discussion is mostly generated around women, but that doesn't mean body positivity is only for women. It's for all genders, also for men, non-binary people, like anyone. So I think that's also another important consideration to take in.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm. I was thinking because it's never comfortable to be kind of objectified for like your bodily features or anything. But then Kotoha over here is saying there's no necessity to vocally say it and necessarily act on it and make the other person feel uncomfortable. Mm-hmm.
Mm. I think it's kind of like a merging discussion with what is considered as sexual harassment, because that's also a big topic going on in Japan right now. Even though there are a lot of more attention on the topic of sexual harassment and importance of women being able to protect themselves and also, protecting women or men from sexual harassment, a lot of the times people are like, but what is going to be considered as sexual harassment? Like, where's the borderline? So yeah, I think that can also be part of the discussion as well when it comes to, making sure the other person isn't uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. Another question we received from our viewers was, what do you think about people associating body positivity with the normalization of obesity?
Also, a very good question. You have very good quality followers. I think when it comes to normalization, I think it's actually a good thing because fat people, bigger size people have always existed. And just like slender people are considered normal in the society, bigger size people also need to be normalized and be considered as a normal person, normal type of bodies within the society. So when it comes to the key term normalization, it's a good thing. And like bigger size people actually should be normalized because we have existed, we deserve to exist, and we are part of the society, and we deserve to be considered attractive and beautiful by other types of people. So normalization itself is good. It just should be done with like all types of body types. But if it's a discussion about people associating it, people associating body positivity as promoting obesity, now that's a different question. And I would say if people associate body positivity with promoting obesity, then those people are basically just full of stigmas and weight bias. And just to go into further, whether someone is considered obese or simply overweight, the decision factor is usually on BMI, body mass index, which only takes height and weight into account. So for example, BMI is, excuse my language, bullshit, because I know so many of my friends who work out so much and they're super muscular, have hardly any body fat on them. Like if they don't, that's totally okay. If you have body fat, that's totally okay. But I'm just speaking for my friends, and they don't have any body fat on them, but simply because their weight is larger than what is ideal for their height, they were considered overweight, and they had like some sort of like lower health rank on their doctor's health check. So that's bullshit. And whether someone's obese or not is simply based on that BMI system, which I think is very problematic. And if you Google BMI bullshit, then you'll see all sorts of sources that prove to you how BMI is such a messed up system. And in addition to that, people who weigh a lot can also be healthy. There are so many overweight people who weigh more than average weight, who have no issues with their vital signs, such as blood pressure, blood sugar level, heart rate. There are so many people who weigh a lot and who look fat on the outside who can be totally healthy. Just like there are so many slender people who are not fat, but who could still have all sorts of like diseases, diabetes, blood pressure issues, or any sorts of issues. So weight really, really does not define your health. And it's just really, really upsetting that so many people cannot understand that. And even if you become obese, there are just so many factors that contribute to the way that your bodies become obese, such as genetic factors, the environment that you grow up in, the environment that you live in, even like countries' cultures, countries' food cultures. There are so many different things that could contribute to that. So it's just so many, so many things are being ignored. And a lot of the times when people show concern for fat people's health, they're basically like, oh, I'm not trying to body shame you. I'm only saying this because I care about your health. Now that is that is just like really, really hypocrisy, because if they're really concerned about their other people's health, then first of all, they would not be body shaming them, because adding that negative pressure on them only causes them to get worse, basically. And there are so many people who are overweight, who are considered fat, that actually eats healthy, that actually exercises regularly. And even if you eat the same thing, even if you do like such intense hard workout, just like any other people do, people's bodies react in so many different ways. So weight really cannot be the living proof of like the healthier choices that you make. And it just completely ignores that. But the fact that the outcome of healthier choices is only decided whether you're fat or not, that itself is driving people to become unhealthier. Because I know firsthand that when I was exercising regularly in the past, before my current time right now, like when I was a teenager or something, people were like, oh, so you're doing this workout, but you your calves got bigger. Like, I don't see you losing weight. That demotivated me to pursue that healthier lifestyle. So if people are really considerate about other people's health, then first of all, they would just shut up overall. So I think it's really important to remember that, especially for people who are facing the hypocrite, health concerned citizens.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow, great point. Wow. No, the comment section is crazy as well. There are
Oh, I'm so sorry. I haven't been able to read at all.
much for all of your explanations are just spotless. That's so great. Um, we have 10 minutes left. I have two more questions.
Sorry.
No. Being can or should all people of all body types be body positive?
Also a very good question. I'll give you the easy answer. All people, regardless of body size, body type, should be more positive towards their body. Now, the reason why I say they should be more positive is because sometimes like being too positive can be toxic. And I think nowadays we hear the term toxic positivity, where people feel the pressure to be positive all the time. So I think it's important to remember that you should try to be positive towards your body, like little step as much as possible, and keep it going until you reach a more better stage than you are previously at right now. And like I said before, loving your body doesn't happen overnight. And a lot of the people think that you can suddenly become confident and comfortable in your own body. But, unfortunately, it's not. It has to be like an ongoing journey. And to train your mindset, continue the dialogues with yourself, on and on. So, yeah, and I think like when it comes to loving your body from the state where you are absolutely hating it, it's a really big step and it can be very, very overwhelming. So that's why I'm saying, yes, body positivity is important, but don't let it overwhelm you so much to the point where you're just overwhelmed and you feel like trying to be positive overall is just draining and it's actually taking a negative toll on your life. So but still, you should try to be a little bit positive towards your body and show little more love to your body than you are yesterday or today. And I think when we think about it that way, then I think we have little hurdle to love ourselves, or at least show better love for ourselves. I think it's kind of similar to like making friends, like if you're making new friends, because if it's someone that you don't really know, like you wouldn't hate them unless there was a specific reason for them. And even if you don't love them, you still need to like be nice to them and treat them with respect. Just like the same, I think your body deserves the respect and kindness that you show other people in general that you don't know. Yeah, so overall, just be kinder to yourself, show a little bit more love to your body, even if it doesn't ultimately and quickly result in you embracing and loving yourself 100%. I think it's just the ongoing process to show a little love to your body day by day.
Day by day. Oh, so important. Final question is, how do you think we should move forward for more people to embrace their body, and what do you envision in the future?
Okay. I'll try to keep this answer short. I think there are three things. First one is don't comment on other people's bodies because, even if you think someone has gained weight or lost weight, you have no idea what happened in their lives that caused such change. And let's say something tragic or traumatic happened to them, and that was the reason for their weight gain or weight loss. Like, you praising them or making a negative comment about it is only going to torture that person and feel really bad. Like, even if you meant it as a compliment, like, what if that person had just had such a stressful stressful time or traumatic event that they just simply didn't have the appetite because they just feel super sick. Like, you praising them for losing weight because of that, that's not good. So that's one. And then second, don't engage in body shaming conversations. So if you're in a group of people and someone starts shaming other people's body, like, don't join in, don't chime in and blow up the conversation. Like, either don't say anything, or for at least every negative comment that is said within that group, either say it with, well, I think that person looks beautiful, that person looks amazing the way they are, and just really, I don't know, make yourself being seen that you are not willing to engage in that conversation. Or reply back with a positive comment saying, well, I know this person has been working on this and that, so that person shouldn't even worry about what you guys are saying. You guys don't know what you're saying, and just like dismiss their negative comments. So yeah, and oh yeah, practice self-dialogue. So talk really, in order to be body positive towards other people, it's important that you know how to talk body positively towards other people. And that requires practice with how you talk to yourself. So for example, like, instead of saying, oh, I need to lose weight, you need to say, what you should say is, well, I want to increase my physical ability to do this, so I feel like I should do this workout so that I can gain more physical ability to do this, because I need this in order to take care of myself. Or even, like, we're surrounded by so many body shaming words as well, like even makeup items like concealer. Concealer itself just has a connotation that you need to hide something because it's not ideal. But what you should be saying or try to tell yourself is like, well, I'm using this concealer. Technically, it's in order to hide, but I'm really using it so that I can make the colors of my eyes pop or something like that. Like, turn it into a positive way. So really, really be careful with the type of language that you use in your daily self-dialogue. Now, as for what I envision in the future, I feel like now in Western countries, there's the term body neutrality, where people are not negative towards their bodies, but not positive towards their bodies. They only perceive body as something that is just like a vessel that carries them through life, and not really focusing that beauty doesn't depend on their body. So I honestly believe that there's going to be more of a combination between body positivity and body neutrality. And I think people can shift between those two whenever they want. If they feel like they want to take their mind off their bodies, they can be more of a body neutral way and really focus on what type of person they are without considering how they are physically, but really focus on their characteristics, what they have achieved. But if they really want to empower themselves, then they can switch to body positivity and really use that stance to enhance their beauty standards and empower how beautiful they are. So I feel like there could be a combination of the two in the future, not just one or the other.
Body neutrality. No, that's so cool. No, and what you said in the beginning, to not comment about body at all. I am working on that. As I've told you, that's my New Year's resolution for this year. And thank you so much for coming today and sharing your experiences, your thoughts, and the fact that you kind of listed out what we can do, like, from today. That's inspiring, so powerful. Thank you so much, Mariana, for being here today. And
thank you so much.
Stay tuned for our pre-recording as well on body shaming. So yes, thank you so much, Mariana. Have a great night.
Yeah, thank you. I hope you stay safe and hope to talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon. Bye. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks to everyone for tuning in.